Have you noticed that your friends have been playing this weird new game lately? They pull out their phones, open some AI app, and start asking the most random questions. Should I invest in stocks today? Will my boyfriend and I make it to the end? When will I get that promotion and raise? Then the AI, like some digital fortune teller, gives them this elaborate analysis that sounds incredibly convincing, even crazier. Some people are now treating AI like their personal doctor, asking ChatGPT or Claude about every headache and sniffle. So here's the million-dollar question. Is this technological progress, or are we witnessing a collective IQ nosedive? Hey everyone, welcome to Zen Go. When AI becomes the new age snake oil salesman, you're not going to believe this, but I was at this tech meetup in Silicon Valley recently, and I watched this engineer pull out his phone and ask an AI, "What shirt should I wear to meet investors today?" And the AI actually gave him this detailed color psychology breakdown. Blue represents trust, white symbolizes purity, black shows authority. Sounded incredibly professional. And this guy? He actually went and changed his shirt based on what the AI told him. This phenomenon is happening everywhere, from Silicon Valley programmers to Beijing office workers, from New York finance bros to Tokyo students. Everyone's turning AI into their life coach. But here's where it gets really wild. I've seen people online taking screenshots of AI medical advice and showing them to doctors, demanding prescriptions based on the AI's diagnosis. The doctors are just standing there like, "So, do you trust me or the machine?" But here's the massive problem. You know what? These seemingly professional answers that AI spits out, half the time, it's just improvising. It's like someone who never went to med school suddenly, throwing on a white coat, grabbing a stethoscope, and diagnosing you with complete confidence. The only difference is this fake doctor has read every medical textbook in the world, but has absolutely zero clue what any of it actually means. AI's performative personality disorder. Let me tell you a real story. In 2023, Google showcased their AI assistant Bard at this massive global launch event. Someone asked it, "How would you explain the Webb Space Telescope to a 9-year-old?" Bard confidently responded that the Webb telescope captured the first ever image of an exoplanet. Sounds pretty impressive, right? Problem is, that answer was completely wrong. The Webb telescope is amazing, sure, but the first exoplanet image was actually captured by the Hubble telescope way back in 2008. This single mistake caused Google's stock to tank, wiping out over $100 billion in market value. That's probably the most expensive sentence in human history. This reminds me of a classic Silicon Valley joke. An AI engineer, a product manager, and an investor walk into a bar. The engineer says, "Our AI can answer any question." The product manager goes, "Perfect. We can disrupt the entire education industry." The investor says, "I'm in for $10 million. Then they ask the AI, "What's 1 plus 1? The AI responds, "Based on my analysis, in most cases it's 2, but in certain specialized mathematical systems, it could be 10 or 11, depending on your specific needs and contextual environment. However, I'd recommend consulting with a professional mathematician for a more accurate answer." This is AI's performative personality disorder. It will never admit it doesn't know something. It always has to give you this professional-sounding answer, even when that answer is complete nonsense. The show-off mechanism of machine learning. To understand why AI lies, we need to get back to its core. Imagine you're playing this incredibly complex word completion game. Someone gives you the sentence, "Today's weather is very," and you'd fill in nice or terrible based on context, common sense, and experience. AI works the same way, except it's playing a word game with trillions of parameters. But here's the crucial difference. When you say today's weather is very nice, you actually know what weather is. You know what nice means. You might have even looked outside. But AI doesn't know any of that. It just knows that in the trillions of sentences it was trained on, today's weather is followed by nice 23.7% more often than terrible. I totally made up that number, but you get the point. It's like asking someone who's been blindfolded since birth to describe colours. They might say red is passionate and intense, blue is calm and profound. Sounds reasonable, but they've never actually seen any colour. What's even worse is that we humans accidentally taught AI how to bullshit during training. Here's the thing. Research shows that humans prefer confident, definitive answers over "I don't know." So AI learnt to act certain even when it's uncertain, to make up answers that sound reasonable even when it has no clue. This reminds me of another classic Silicon Valley phenomenon. The most successful entrepreneurs often aren't the ones with the best technical skills, but the ones who are best at selling the vision. They can describe a product that's still just a sketch on a napkin like it's already changed the world. AI learned exactly that skill when fake news wears a tech costume. Now, here's where things get scary. What happens when AI starts calling the shots in every field? A friend of mine in the Bay Area told me about this intern they hired recently. Kid was coding at lightning speed. Turns out, almost all his code was AI generated. On the surface, everything looked fine, but when they dug deeper, they found the code was riddled with security, vulnerabilities, and logic errors. The scary part? These bugs were hidden so deep that you'd never catch them without thorough testing. It's like someone handing you this beautiful, shiny red apple, and you take a bite only to discover it's full of worms. Healthcare is an absolute disaster zone. I've seen people online sharing how AI diagnosed them with some rare disease requiring immediate surgery. The person freaked out, rushed to the hospital, and the doctor was like, "Dude, you just have a common cold." But then there are the opposite cases too. AI says everything's fine, but it turns out to be a serious condition that got delayed treatment. This reminds me of a classic Silicon Valley law. Any technology that looks like magic has a 50% chance of being actual magic and a 50% chance of being an elaborate scam. The problem is, by the time you figure out which one it is, you might have already bet your life on it. The new class divide of the information age. Here, I want to propose an observation. Let's call it Zen's information stratification theory. In this AI explosion era, humanity is being divided into 3 tiers. Tier 1 is the information producers, people who truly understand technology and can create real value. They know AI's limitations, know when to trust it, and when to question it. These folks are mostly concentrated in tech hubs like Silicon Valley, Boston, and Shenzhen. Tier 2 is the information filters, people who can distinguish between truth and BS, who have critical thinking skills. They might not understand the technical details, but they have enough common sense and experience to judge what's legit and what's garbage. Tier 3 is the information consumers, people who passively accept information without the ability to discern. They treat AI like some new age oracle, believing everything it says without question. The scariest part? This stratification is rapidly solidifying. Tier 3 people are becoming more and more dependent on AI, gradually losing their ability to think independently. They ask AI what to wear, what to eat, what decisions to make. Slowly, they're becoming AI's pets instead of AI's masters. I attended a lecture at Stanford where the professor said, "The illiterate of the future won't be those who can't read or write, but those who can't question AI." At the time, I thought that was a bit dramatic. Now, it might be the most important prophecy of our time, redefining the boundaries of intelligence. But we can't demonize AI either. Honestly, AI is way better than humans in many areas. It can read more books in seconds than you could in a lifetime, can master dozens of languages simultaneously, can remember virtually all of human knowledge. The problem is, knowledge isn't wisdom, and information isn't understanding. I have this friend who's an AI researcher at Google, and he shared this fascinating analogy with me. He said AI is like a scholar with superhuman memory who can recite every Shakespeare play and repeat every Newton theory, but has never actually experienced the sweetness of love or felt that moment when an apple hits your head. This reminds me of a Zen story. There was this monk who read tons of scriptures and could recite every Buddhist text, but his master said he hadn't achieved enlightenment yet. Why? Because knowledge belongs to others, but wisdom belongs to yourself. AI has all of humanity's knowledge, but it has no wisdom of its own. But that doesn't mean AI is worthless. On the contrary, if we use it correctly, AI can become an amplifier for human wisdom. The key is remembering that we're riding a tool, not worshipping a god. So, next time you want to ask AI an important question, remember 3 principles. First, treat AI like a very knowledgeable friend who lies a lot. It might give you useful inspiration, but never blindly trust its answers. Second, for crucial decisions, always seek a second opinion from human experts. AI can help you research, but it can't make decisions for you. Third, maintain curiosity and critical thinking. This world is changing too fast, and the only constant is change itself. Finally, if you found today's content valuable, don't forget to like and subscribe so more people can see these thoughts. In this AI-dominated era, independent thinking is more precious than ever. We'll see you next time as we continue exploring this wonderful and complex world.